Wow. And so everybody getting in on the act. Salah, Gakpo, Nunez, even Firmino climbing off the bench to getting on the action. So quick thoughts on this one.
Firmino is Liverpool's second top scorer in the Premier League. Please show him some respect.
Firmino's always been my guy. I mean, the fact that he came off the bench and after all the goals had gone in, he still could get some.
We were watching the game, and when it was 4, we were like, this is...
It can't get anywhere.
It can't get anywhere than this. I'm very hurt. Because I've been singing Ten Hag's praises for weeks.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm the bad luck. It looks like I have to stop praising people because when I praise them, look at what they come and do. But look,
where was the in-game money? Because it was only 1-0 at halftime.
Yes, and remember I spoke about Ten Hag's in-game management and how great it's been all season.
Yep.
Only for this to happen. And for me, part of it was the players. I think the players gave up the fight. I think
after the second goal,
it looks like they were very deflated. And Liverpool had some confidence. Look, it's like every ball, there was like extra energy in Liverpool's legs. They were first to every ball. United just looked off the pace. And there was so much space. And United are usually very compact. But after the second goal, there was so much space for Liverpool. Look at the third goal, the one where Lisandro Martinez was kind of, tossed aside.
Yeah.
Look at how much space Salah had. You don't regularly see teams get that much space against United. It's the exception, not the rule. So there was a lot of space, and they are defending in certain situations. There were just some silly mistakes and Liverpool took advantage of every single mistake. Because look at the first goal. The first goal is what I want. It's almost like Anthony kind of let Robertson get behind him. Robertson had a lot of space. So once Dalot kind of moved to press, Fred had to kind of come behind Dalot. In the middle. That half second that Fred didn't get behind Dalot, as Dalot went to press, Robertson played that ball outside of Fred. And now Gakpo is there and Varane has to come across. And because it's so quick, Gakpo kind of swivels, cuts back inside. And Varane has gone. Casemiro has come to cut across. Casemiro doesn't get there in time. And by the time, the ball is in the back of the net. That one error, that 1/2 second, 1 second that Fred was in our way, that was it. Then you see the second goal, the ball just moves so quickly. It just drops to Elliott. There's no one there. By the time anyone is there, he's crossed the ball across. And that's the thing. Because Nunez has been playing wide, he keeps getting with the centre-backs are not challenging him in the air as much. It's sometimes the full-back. Those things. So he's in the... Because I remember a Champions League game where Mandzukic played on the left wing for Juventus. And he was against Carvajal. And all Madrid did was...
in the Champions League final.
No, it wasn't the final. I think it was the one that Ronaldo scored. I think the second leg that Ronaldo scored the bicycle kick. So whoever was playing right back for Juventus, was it Cordado or someone, just kept crossing the ball to Mandzukic. And he just kept getting Carvajal, one-on-one and bam, bam. So he scored 2 headers in the first leg or whatever. It was that type of situation where Nunez was getting free. So by the time the second, third goal has gone in, they are ragged, they are pushing forward, they are trying to... And every ball is bouncing right. Look at the Salah's first goal. The ball kind of bounced off McTominay, and Salah is right in there, right in front. And the finish, and that was the best finish of the weekend.
His right foot.
He was bam. So it was like everything that could go wrong went wrong, everything that could go right went right. But tactically, they were outthought. Because I believe that Liverpool's game plan was pretty solid. Because Liverpool had the better first 20 minutes. They scored against the run of play because Man U were getting into the game. But then after that, they just kept pushing. They went at Man United's weaknesses. They kept drawing Casemiro out of position. And they got the result. So fair play to Jurgen Klopp. He had a great game. And look, I thought at the beginning of the game when I saw the midfield, I didn't like the midfield. I thought they would struggle. But I was completely wrong.
Continue on that point. Casemiro not being on his best game for United. He's been pivotal to every bit of success United have had. How did his no-show affect the rest of the team today?
Because he couldn't close down the spaces in time. So Liverpool had a lot of time on the ball.
They played around him, basically.
The press re-emerged today.
Yes, pretty much. And the thing is, I wouldn't blame Casemiro. It's all on Ten Hag. Honestly, it's all on Ten Hag. And he's been risking this for a while. And today, that risk ran into a ditch, a complete ditch. Against Newcastle, he started Dalo against Alan Saint-Maximin. He was lucky Man United didn't get overly exposed down that right side. He corrected it in the second half by bringing on Wan-Bissaka and pretty much nullified the threat of Alan Saint-Maximin. Against Barcelona, first half goalless, but he ran the risk of getting Man United in a terrible position by playing Bruno Fernandes as a right winger against Alejandro Balde. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, he played Marcus Rashford, who isn't well known for tracking back and helping out defensively. And once you play Bruno Fernandes out on the right side, position awareness, he was off. And Alejandro Balde kept on attacking that side of Man United.
Wasn't that how they got the penalty?
That was how they got the penalty. And so both wings, Man United lost out on both wings. But funny enough, yeah, they were still in it because they didn't concede until that penalty issue. And even with that penalty, it could have easily been avoided. There was no point for Bruno Fernandes to pull the shirt of Alejandro Balde. So it was coming. And in this game, he did the same thing by playing with Weghorst as the pivot behind the main striker, Marcus Rashford. And he played Bruno Fernandes out on the left side with Anthony on the right side of the wings. Clearly, Bruno Fernandes' position awareness as a winger is off. So that gave Trent Alexander-Arnold a lot of time to create that overload. Throw back Liverpool style. Create overload on the Salah side of the pitch. And pretty much run over.
It happened close to 6 or 7 times in the game.
That's how come Luke Shaw had a terrible game. And so you always had Fred moving over to that side. And Wood Weghorst is not the most mobile striker. So in the middle, it was all Casemiro. And there's only so much he can do. So that's how come all that space was created. And you had Man United just getting bombarded by Liverpool. And yes, everything that went right went for Liverpool. And so you also have to factor in that element. But tactically, Ten Hag had it wrong. And the players, their body language wasn't on point. Look at the amount of space that Darwin Núñez had to run into and just connect his head to that ball. Look at the amount of space that Cody Gakpo had. He was running with, I believe, one Man United player in the lead up to that third goal. And by the time Salah was done just bamboozling his way round...
That was on Shaw and Lisandro because they kind of doubled up on Salah. I think Shaw should have left Lisandro to deal with Salah, and rather than trying to come across, because when he came across, he left Gakpo unmarked. And he didn't get there in time. And it's it's almost like the person... Maybe that was another goal. Look, there were so many goals.
It was the third goal. Because Man United lost the ball after the corner kick. I think Bruno Fernandes' attempt wasn't the best. And they just moved the ball quickly. Gakpo was right at the edge of the Liverpool penalty box. And he ran all the way, after giving that pass to Mohamed Salah, all the way to meet that Mohamed Salah pass and score that goal. And the man who was tracking him from the beginning of that sequence, wasn't with him at the end of that sequence. So clearly, that's not the manager's fault. That's on the players. And the defending was just utter shambolic. But mainly, it is down to Ten Hag. He ran the risk, and Man United, unfortunately, had to be smacked by 7-0. And they don't start games early. They don't start games on point. Second half, they start games quite slowly. They start games quite slowly. It all added up to this humiliating defeat.
7-0 is how it ended.